My girlfriend crashed my car, except she wasn't the one driving. I don't even know where to start with this. I'm sitting here staring at a police report that has completely turned my world upside down, and I need some outside perspective. So here's the situation. I've been with my girlfriend Brianna for about a year and a half. Things have been mostly good. We moved in together 6 months ago. We get along great, no major red flags until now. She doesn't have a car, sold hers last year to pay off some debt, so I've been letting her use mine pretty regularly when she needs it. I have a 2021 Honda Civic, nothing fancy, but it's reliable and I need it for work. Last Friday evening I got this text from Brianna. "Hey babe, I need to tell you something. I got into an accident with your car. Please don't freak out, I'm okay." I was at the Target parking lot and someone backed right into me. Hit the rear of the car pretty good. I'm fine, not hurt at all, but there's damage. The other driver felt terrible. We exchanged insurance info. I took pictures. "I'm so sorry, heading home now." I immediately called her. She sounded shaken up but kept saying she was fine, just rattled. When I got home, the car had a decent dent in the rear quarter panel and a cracked taillight. Not terrible, but definitely going to cost something to fix. Here's where it gets weird. Her story felt off. Little things didn't quite add up. She said she was at Target getting groceries, but when I asked what she bought since she came home empty-handed, she got vague and said she ended up not getting anything because she was too rattled after the accident. Okay, fine. Then she mentioned the other driver was some older lady, but later referred to them as they. I figured she was just stressed and mixing up details, but something was nagging at me. I'm not usually a paranoid person. I don't check her phone or track her location or any of that stuff. But this felt weird enough that when I went to file the insurance claim on Monday, I decided to request a copy of the actual police report first. The other driver's insurance info Brianna gave me seemed legit, but I wanted to have all the documentation lined up. The report arrived yesterday. I opened it expecting to confirm Brianna's version of events, get the claim process rolling, and move on. That's not what happened. According to the police report, the driver of my car was listed as Logan Martinez, not Brianna. Logan is her ex-boyfriend. She's mentioned him maybe twice in our entire relationship, always in passing, always in a "we ended on good terms" kind of way. I've never met him, never even seen a picture of him. I read that line probably 10 times. Driver, Logan Martinez, my car, not a similar car. My license plate number right there in the report. I confronted Brianna last night. At first she tried to deflect. Oh, the officer must have written it down wrong, but I pressed her. I asked her directly, "Were you actually driving the car on Friday?" She finally admitted she wasn't. Logan had needed to borrow a car for a quick errand and messaged her Friday afternoon. His car was apparently in the shop, and he needed to pick something up urgently. She felt bad for him, her words, so she told him he could borrow mine for an hour. She didn't ask me, didn't even think to mention it. The accident happened while he was driving, and instead of explaining what happened to me honestly, she made up the entire story about driving it herself to go shopping. She said she panicked because she knew I'd be upset about her lending out my car without permission, so she figured if she just told me it was her driving, we could handle it through insurance, and I'd never need to know. I honestly don't even know how to process this. Like, there are so many levels of wrong here I can't figure out which one to be most angry about. And now I'm in this position where I have to file an insurance claim for an accident caused by someone who was never authorized to drive my car. I have no idea what that means legally or financially. Brianna keeps saying it'll be fine. The other driver's insurance will cover the damage to my car, and Logan's already talking to his insurance about the other vehicle. But she has no idea how any of this actually works. She just wants it to go away. I did ask Brianna why Logan would ask her of all people for that kind of favor. Why not one of his friends? She got defensive and said he didn't want to bother anyone else, and she was just trying to help someone who was in a tight spot. I pointed out that she did bother someone. She bothered me. Then she started crying and saying I was being harsh and that it was just an accident, it could have happened to anyone. But that's not the point. The accident isn't the point. The point is that she made a choice to loan out something that wasn't hers to loan to her ex-boyfriend and then lied about it. And I only found out because I happened to request the police report. Am I crazy here? Is this something I should be able to get past? Part of me feels like I'm making this a bigger deal than it needs to be. It was just a fender bender. The car can be fixed. But another part of me feels like this is a fundamental trust issue that can't really be walked back. I haven't even dealt with the insurance stuff yet because I'm honestly worried about what happens when I report that an unauthorized driver was operating my vehicle. Reddit, I need some reality checks. What do I do here? Edit. To clarify, since some people are asking, Logan and Brianna definitely broke up before we got together. I'm not worried about cheating or anything like that. My issue is the lying and the fact that she gave someone permission to use my property without asking me first. The insurance claim hasn't been processed yet. I literally just got the police report yesterday. I'm supposed to submit everything to my insurance company this week. I have no idea what happens when they see a different name as the driver. Update 1. Thanks for all the comments on my last post. A lot of you told me to report everything to insurance exactly as it happened, and that's what I did. Some of you warned me this could get messy. You were right. So I submitted the claim to my insurance on Thursday, police report and all. I was completely honest, told them I wasn't driving, that my girlfriend had loaned the car to someone without my knowledge or permission, and that I only discovered this through the police report. The agent I spoke with got quiet for a second, then asked me to hold while she transferred me to someone else. That someone else asked me the same questions 3 different ways, like they were making sure I understood what I was saying. Their position is clear. They're denying the claim. The driver, Logan, was not listed on my policy and was not authorized to operate my vehicle. According to them, this means my coverage doesn't apply to the accident. The damage to my car is my problem. The damage to the other vehicle is Logan's problem. I expected them to deny coverage. What I didn't expect was everything else that came with it. The insurance company contacted the police department to verify the report, and that triggered something I guess is pretty standard in these situations. Because Logan was driving a vehicle without the owner's permission, the police have cited him for unauthorized use. Depending on how our state handles this, I've been doing way too much legal research this week. He could be looking at a misdemeanor charge. And because there was property damage involved, the other driver's insurance is going after him personally for their repairs. I'm also talking to a lawyer this week just to make sure I'm protected if this turns into something bigger. And he mentioned that in some cases, the person who gives permission for unauthorized use can also face legal consequences. It's not a guarantee, but it's possible. Brianna completely lost it when she found out. She came home Friday evening and immediately started yelling at me about what I'd done to Logan. Apparently he'd called her in a panic because he got some kind of notice from the police. But as she kept going, it became clear she wasn't just worried about him. She was terrified about her own situation too. She kept asking if I'd told them that she gave him permission, if her name was in any of the reports, if she was going to be charged with something. She tried to reframe the whole thing. This was just a favor between friends. You're making it sound like a crime. The insurance companies would have figured it out between themselves if you hadn't made a big deal about who was driving. I told her that's not how it works. The police report lists Logan as the driver. I didn't put his name there, he did, by being the one driving my car without permission. The insurance company didn't deny the claim because I reported him. He was already on record. They would have found out either way. She tried a different angle. He was just trying to help his mom. His car's been broken down for weeks and he needed to pick up her medication. I was helping someone in an emergency. I asked why she didn't mention any of that when she first told me about the accident. Why lie and say she was the one driving if it was such an innocent situation? She didn't have an answer for that. Then I asked why, if it was such an emergency, Logan didn't call an Uber or ask his mom's neighbor or literally do anything other than borrow a car from his ex-girlfriend's boyfriend without that boyfriend's knowledge. That's when she said I was being cruel and punishing Logan for something that wasn't his fault. The accident wasn't his fault in terms of who backed into whom, sure, but everything else, the unauthorized use of my vehicle, the lies, those were choices. Logan apparently can't afford to pay for the repairs to the other person's car. It's only about $2,800 in damage, but he doesn't have that kind of money sitting around, and his insurance won't cover it because he wasn't driving his own car. The other driver's insurance has already sent him a demand letter. Oh, and Logan did try to call me directly, twice on Thursday, once on Friday morning. I didn't pick up. Then he sent me a text. "Alex, I know you're pissed. Can we please talk?" I blocked his number. I'm not interested in hearing his side of the story or working out some kind of deal. He can talk to his lawyer. Brianna spent the entire weekend either crying or giving me the silent treatment. Her mom called me yesterday. I barely know this woman. I've met her maybe 3 times. She started off nice, saying she understood I was upset, but then pivoted to asking if there was any way we could work this out without involving the lawyers and insurance companies. She said Logan's a good kid who made a mistake, and that this could really mess up his life if it becomes a criminal matter. Then she added that Brianna was also at risk, that my lawyer had apparently scared her half to death, talking about potential charges, and that as her mother, she was begging me to find a way to make this go away for both of them. I told her I didn't involve lawyers or insurance companies out of spite. I filed a claim for damage to my vehicle the way you're supposed to. The fact that Logan wasn't authorized to drive that vehicle is not something I can just wish away. She got quiet, then asked if I'd be willing to say I gave him permission to drive. Just tell the insurance company there was a misunderstanding. I said no, because I didn't give him permission, and I'm not going to lie to my insurance company to help someone who already lied to me. She said I was being stubborn and unforgiving, and that I should think about what this is doing to Brianna. Honestly, I have thought about it, and what this is doing to Brianna is showing her that actions have consequences. I'm getting my car fixed on my own dime, which sucks. A couple people in my first post warned that I could potentially be held liable if Logan was driving with my girlfriend's permission, even without mine, so I'm talking to my lawyer about that too. I don't know what I'm looking for here. Advice, validation, someone to tell me I'm not an asshole for refusing to lie for people who lied to me. I guess I'm just venting at this point. Edit, some people are asking why I don't just sue Logan for the damage to my car. My lawyer basically said I could, but it's a small claim situation, and if he doesn't have the money for the other driver's repairs, he definitely doesn't have money for mine. I could win a judgment and still never see the money, so I'm weighing whether it's worth the time and hassle. For everyone saying Brianna definitely cheated, I hear you, and trust me, that thought has crossed my mind. But I don't actually have evidence of that, and frankly, the lying and boundary violation is enough of a problem on its own that I don't need to prove cheating to justify being done with this relationship. Update 2. So things moved fast over the past few days. After my last post, Brianna's mom didn't stop with just one phone call. She called me twice more over the next 3 days. The first time I let it go to voicemail. The second time I picked up because I figured I needed to be clear. I told her straight up, I'm not lying to my insurance company. I'm not making this go away just because it's inconvenient for everyone involved. She started in with the same stuff about how Logan's just a kid. He's 27, by the way, and how a criminal record could ruin his future. I asked her where this energy was when her daughter was lying to my face for a week. She didn't like that. Then she tried the guilt angle, said Brianna's been falling apart over this, barely eating, can't sleep, and it's affecting her work. She asked if I really wanted to be the person who destroyed her daughter over a misunderstanding. I told her this stopped being about a misunderstanding the second Brianna chose to lie. Her mom said I was being unforgiving and hung up on me. That conversation was on Tuesday. Wednesday evening, Brianna came home from work and I could tell something was up. She'd been avoiding me since the weekend, barely speaking, staying in the bedroom or leaving the apartment entirely. But Wednesday she sat down on the couch next to me and started crying before she even said anything. Before she could get started, I told her that Logan had tried to reach out. He'd sent me an email Tuesday night after his number got blocked. I deleted it without reading it. She asked why I wouldn't even hear him out, said he was trying to take responsibility and apologize. I told her I don't care what Logan has to say. He can apologize to the judge. He doesn't get to apologize to me and expect that to change anything. She said I was being needlessly cruel and that refusing to even listen made me part of the problem. I asked her what problem that was exactly. The problem where her ex-boyfriend stole my car, or the problem where she lied to my face about it. That shut her up for a second. Then she told me she'd talked to Logan that afternoon. He's apparently being charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, which in our state is a misdemeanor but can become a felony if the damage exceeds a certain amount. His court date is in 3 weeks. He's trying to get a payment plan set up with the other driver's insurance to avoid having them pursue a civil judgment, but they're not required to offer that. And he still has the criminal charge to deal with regardless. Then she said, "This is all happening because of you." The audacity was actually impressive. I asked her if she understood why I couldn't do what she wanted me to do. She said she understood I was following the rules, but that sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. That Logan didn't mean for any of this to happen, and now his whole life is potentially messed up because I couldn't just let it slide. That's when something clicked for me. She wasn't upset that she'd violated my trust and my property. She was upset that I wasn't helping her protect Logan from the consequences. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, "You know what the problem is here. It's not the accident. It's not even Logan. The problem is that when you had to choose between telling me the truth or protecting your ex-boyfriend, you chose him, and you're still choosing him." She started to argue, but I kept going. "You lied to my face for a week. You tried to involve me in insurance fraud, and now you're sitting here telling me I'm the bad guy because I won't lie to make this easier for him. At what point does what you did to me matter?" She just stared at me. Then she said, "So what, you're breaking up with me over this?" I said yes. "Because I can't be in a relationship with someone who thinks this is how you treat people you supposedly care about." She went from crying to angry in about 2 seconds. Told me I was throwing away a year and a half over nothing. That I was using this as an excuse because I never really trusted her anyway. That I was going to regret this when I came to my senses. I told her I'd sleep on the couch and we could figure out the apartment situation this weekend. She said she'd stay with her mom and be back for her stuff on Saturday. Fine. She left Thursday morning and I haven't heard from her since. Her mom texted me once yesterday asking if I was really going through with this, and I didn't respond. I talked to my lawyer again yesterday. The good news is I'm legally clear. The bad news is my insurance rates are probably going up when I renew, which sucks, but I guess that's life. Logan's situation is his to deal with. I genuinely don't wish the guy harm, but he made a choice on his own, and he can handle the consequences like an adult. As for Brianna and me, it's done. I've been going back and forth on whether I made the right call, but every time I think about her sitting there telling me this was all my fault, I know I did. I'm keeping the apartment. She agreed she'd be out by the end of the month. I'm getting my car fixed next week, and I'm honestly just ready to move on. I might post a final update once everything's settled, but for now, I'm good. Final update. It's been about 3 months since the breakup, and I can finally say this whole mess is behind me. First, the legal stuff. Logan took a plea deal. He pled guilty to unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and got a misdemeanor conviction, 6 months probation, and a $1,500 fine plus court costs. He also had to set up a payment plan with the other driver's insurance. He's paying them $200 a month for the next year and a half to cover the repairs to their car. From what I heard through mutual friends, more on that in a second, The whole thing wiped out what little savings he had, and he had to pick up a second job to make the payments. As for Brianna, the prosecutor apparently decided not to pursue charges against her. My lawyer said it probably came down to insufficient evidence that she knowingly facilitated the unauthorized use, plus the fact that I made it clear I didn't want her charged. I wasn't trying to ruin her life, I just wanted the truth on record. So she walked away legally clear, though the whole experience scared her pretty badly. My insurance situation actually worked out better than I expected. My rates did go up, but only about $30 a month, and my agent told me they'd likely drop back down after a year if I don't have any other claims. I got my car fixed. Out-of-pocket cost was about $1,800 after my deductible. Not ideal, but not catastrophic. Brianna moved out on schedule. The actual moving day was awkward as hell. Her mom and brother came to help, and nobody made eye contact with me. I stayed in the bedroom most of the time. She took her furniture, her stuff, and left the apartment key on the counter. That was the last time I saw her in person. About a month after the breakup, I ran into one of our mutual friends at a grocery store. Apparently word had gotten around about what happened. I heard Brianna moved back in with her mom temporarily and is apparently still there. And she and Logan are together now. It became official about 6 weeks after our breakup. Though I'm pretty sure something was going on before we ended. I don't have proof, and honestly at this point I don't care enough to dig for it. But when someone is that willing to lie for their ex, yeah, you can connect the dots. The mutual friend told me that at first Brianna constantly posted stuff about standing by people when they need you most, and real love means showing up when things are hard. Very noble, very martyr-like. Like she genuinely believed she was being this amazing, compassionate person by staying with Logan through his legal troubles. But it's not exactly a fairy tale. Logan's broke. He's living with a roommate in a studio apartment that barely fits one person. They can't afford to do anything, no going out, no dates, nothing. The friend said they fight constantly about money, and that Brianna complains to people that Logan's different now, more irritable, always tired, less fun to be around. I mean, yeah, that's what happens when you're working 2 jobs to pay off the consequences of your own bad decisions. Turns out standing by someone is a lot harder when that person is financially underwater for the next year and a half because of something they did wrong. As for me, I'm genuinely doing really well, having my own space again, making my own rules, not having to navigate someone else's mess. It's been good for my mental health. I started seeing someone new about a month ago. We met through friends. She's got her own car and her own place, and so far it's been refreshingly drama-free. We're taking things slow, but it feels healthy in a way my relationship with Brianna never quite did. I can actually trust what she tells me, which turns out to be a pretty low bar that my ex couldn't clear. The one unexpected thing was that Brianna tried one last time to contact me about 2 weeks ago. She sent me a Facebook message asking if I'd be willing to write a character reference letter for Logan's probation officer, saying what a good person he is and how this was all just a mistake. That message gave me quite a good laugh. I didn't respond though. She did try to message some more. I blocked her eventually, so that's where things stand now. I've got a better living situation and I'm building something with someone who actually respects me. The car's fixed, the legal stuff is settled, and I'm just moving forward. Thanks for following along with this mess. I'm good now.